What's going on, my friend? You already know what time it is. Yes, that's right. It's time for your daily dose of Broodwar. And boys, lads, put your hands together for a little prayer. We are today truly blessed to have a game here with JAEDONG versus BISU. This was a most recent replay. In December 15th of 2024, these two met on their barcode accounts, not once, but multiple times. I won't say how many games there are here today, guys, but it's more than one. And hopefully that will keep these games spoiler free. But I am very, very excited to cast this one, guys. I know JAEDONG hasn't been at the peak of his game recently, but we are getting close to ASL time. So both these guys are going to be brushing up, getting prepared for their ASL runs. It is still a very, very important tournament, even though we have so many different tournaments, you know, the Pro League and all that. Still, the ASL is the premier tournament that everybody looks forward to. Even if it doesn't make you the most amount of money, it's all about the clout. And of course, the honor of taking home that incredible prize. And, you know, growing your stream and that type of thing. If you are a streamer right now, that's kind of the way to make money as a Broodwar player. And if you're someone who's able to take home an ASL, I mean, your stream is going to benefit from that, and viewership and donations, of course. So showing up and putting on some good games, definitely a priority for everyone who's participating in the ASL, including these two fine gentlemen. It appears that BISU gonna open with a gateway first here at the front. Put on a little bit of pressure, and he's been able to block this drone from getting the hatch so far, but looks like the drone on the scout path is going to return and throw down this hatch, while the drone here on the ramp just going to defend. And I think he's waiting. He's hoping to come forward and block this, but I don't think he's realized yet that the hatchery has already been thrown down here. And we're going to be grabbing that gas. Everything looking nice and normal here for JAEDONG and BISU. Now realizing that the hatchery is down here. We're going to start to hit that just a little bit. Can't put too much damage on it here with just a single zealot, but the second one will arrive shortly. And did we save enough larvae here? I believe we did. So we've got plenty of lings on the way. They're going to be heading over here to stop this hatchery from taking shape. Morphing in, mutating. Mutating, as they call it. That's not the word I would have used for it, but hey, it's pretty sick. We don't have a third zealot out on the map right now. Third zealot has been left at home, along with the fourth zealot as well. And JAEDONG doing the right thing. You know, he's sending these 4 lings out. He's correctly assuming that most Protoss players will send that third zealot in towards the natural, while the other 2 are distracting down here. And although it's not going to be the case this game, it's definitely a good move here to send those lings out on the map. And the rest of the lings are going to come over here and try to pick off these 2 zealots. Really great control with this probe. Did you see the probe was on this side and the 2 lings started to target that? He pulled the probe through and targeted down onto those lings at the front. And man, a lot of lings got traded out there for just those 2 zealots, and the probe gets to live. So BISU already doing a fantastic job showcasing his immaculate early game zealot control, and JAEDONG having a little bit of a hard time. It's okay though, he hasn't taken any serious damage yet, aside from on this hatchery, which is pretty seriously injured, but will slowly recover over time. Although maybe not in time for the zealot pressure that's going to be coming from BISU here. Coming up soon. He's already got 4 zealots out, and he's got the +1 on the way. Stargate gonna warp in here. Hydralisk den in the main base. So potential for a Hydralisk bust here, or at least a pressure coming out of JAEDONG. He's got more than the typical number of drones here. So perhaps not going for, you know, a Hydralisk bust per se, but getting some Hydras out in order to defend the Overlords and put on a little bit of pressure, make BISU uncomfortable, maybe force out a few extra cannons if he can. But he'll have to leave at least one Hydralisk back at home. There it is. To pull that one Hydra out here. Make sure the Overlords are safe, because that Corsair will be arriving now. One additional cannon being forced thus far, but only 2 Hydras are going to reach the front. And now coming in towards the natural and main, you can't quite tell that this is not an all-in. There's not that many drones at the natural and the main, but he needs to check the third to see if he really does truly need a lot more cannons here. Now, this is not a typical play, going for 973 against... Like, going for 973 is not typical against a gateway first. Because there's so many zealots, it's going to make it hard for you to actually bust. But, you know, he's doing a good job of feigning this pressure right now while he's got quite a few extra drones and he's adding on additional hatcheries. I guess if you see this hatchery right there, which he did see, I guess he can assume that, you know, probably not going to be an all-in here, but how much pressure exactly is going to be coming? 7 more Hydras are on the way right now, and he can hit the forge. I think he's probably going to get it. I believe that BISU will bring the Zealots out here to try and deal some damage and maybe prevent that from going down. But in the end, I think indeed it will be falling. And does he cancel in time? I don't know, man. I don't know if he actually got that cancel or not. Hard to tell. Might not have been able to get that cancel. He's running forward again, going after some more cannons. I don't know about this one. Seems a little bit risky to me. Picks off one more cannon. We're about halfway done the legs, the Zealot legs, and trying to get some kills here. 0 kills on any of these Corsairs so far, so we haven't missed anything, but putting a little damage on some of these. I think that it's time for JAEDONG to just back off. He started the +1 upgrade. He's got his lair on the way. He has a fair number of drones, so denying the upgrade, forcing out a lot of cannons. He didn't manage to kill any probes. You know, no probes were pulled to aid in that defense, so that's not going to be a factor here. No Overlords were lost as well, which is a big plus tick there for JAEDONG. It's very hard to do a bust like this with 3 Corsairs on the map and not lose a single Overlord. That is pretty difficult. Especially when it's BISU Corsairs, man. Even one BISU Corsair seems to get quite a bit of damage in most cases. So we're just going to chase down the Hydras here. Zealots with that speed now finishing up. Just track onto one of these. Make it a little easier for myself. Hydras here getting picked off a little bit, but he is going to fall back all the way back here towards the natural and should have more Hydras popping out in time to prevent this from dealing critical damage. And as soon as he sees the number of Hydra here, BISU does back away and takes a third base immediately. So knowing that he's got kind of this map pressure right now, he's got more Zealots than JAEDONG can easily deal with. It should be safe to take this third base. Now, we're playing here on Retro. There's not a lot of bases on this map, and most of them are on high ground. So, in the PvZ matchup, it's of primary importance that you're able to get bases up before your opponent. The first mover benefit or advantage is going to be big in this matchup. If you've got, you know, Templar and Cannon on high ground, or Lurker, you know, Spore and a few Hydras on high ground, it is going to be very tough for either player to break through that. So getting up here and getting a base already on the way is great for BISU. It's going to be very hard to counterattack that now. He's getting a little bit caught here. Wanted to kill off more Hydras, maybe bit off a little bit more than he could chew. And BISU with some great micro here, getting up in front of the Zealots. Kind of blocking them a little bit, but he does target that one Zealot, or target that one Hydra down. And now Hydras are out on the map in force. Scourge chasing down some Corsairs. Man, these Corsairs have done very little damage so far. Very, very little damage. Actually, 0. Okay, 1 kill in total. That must have been the Overlord that was actually at the front, the beginning of that bus. So that's a little bit crazy. And now he's even seeing this DT. I tell you, JAEDONG is playing a hell of a game so far. He is playing a hell of a game. Keeping up with everything that BISU's doing and even catching this DT. Oh, one more shot. Wow, that's going to get away. Unreal. Okay, so that does survive, but damaged. Brought down to a very, very low HP number. So the 4th base going to come up in the bottom right. Probably going to be free here. I don't see much that BISU can do about that, considering, you know, he's got a majority of his units over here defending the 3rd, and he's going to be trying to move out right now. Corsairs cannot really stay on the map, though. This group of Zealots going to be pushed back here towards the middle. And these Hydras probably going to fight from the high ground. No, they're just going to run all the way back towards the natural, and starting to make a little bit of a move out. Indications that he wants to move out. BISU making a mistake here, losing a Dragoon for free. Oh, man. I mean, that doesn't seem like much, but 1 Dragoon is a pretty big deal at this point in the game. You can see we're at 60 to 60 in terms of that overall worker count. JAEDONG getting into that macro engine, and this man, he is insane when he gets to the late game. A lot of times we don't see him get quite that far. A lot of people lately have been shutting him down before that moment can come. But you can see he's now getting into his hive. He's got bottom right. Just needs to prevent top left from going down. He really does need to prevent that. And he's spreading out his overlords now. So good chance he's going to be able to get up here and stop this before the cannons finish. But we'll have to see if he can make that happen. A lot of Hydras here over at the natural. And I've seen a lot of players do this. I'm going to start copying this as well. Putting the hatchery here and then building sunken colonies in a wall here with some lurkers, because it is very difficult to prevent your opponent from, you know, counterattacking you really, really hard and, you know, beating you up while you're trying to, for example, take out this base, coming in and just killing off your natural. So we'll see if BISU can make something like that happen. Is he going to come up here and trade while this base is getting taken out? Is he going to make that big trade in towards the natural? Because there's not a whole lot here right now. There's going to be another sunken, possibly a spore in front of this. And yeah, he's going to try and break this right now. Here we go. Having these sunkens already in position is going to be very helpful right now for JAEDONG. Trying to get in range with a storm here, but not able to do it in time. And JAEDONG completely dodges that out. Lurkers are getting amazing damage here on these Zealots as they try to come forward. And storms really don't do much. Actually, they don't do anything against sunken colonies. So these sunken survive. These lurkers survive as well, and everything gets forced back. Beautifully done. Again, JAEDONG on top of everything, making it look easy right now. He has another good defensive position up here on the high ground, though his lurkers are kind of stacked. Where are the Templar? They're not here at the front. Of course, they are a little bit slower. So instead, BISU going to head down to the bottom right. And this is the trouble. This is the difficulty with Zerg, is having the right amount of units at every single location. And he's just barely going to have this Nidus up in time, it looks like. So having that Nidus up there, of course, there's going to fall, but he really needs to hop reinforcements through here. He doesn't have it, but BISU is going to have to fall away from this position. He cannot take this high ground, not with this many Scourge, threatening to kill his observers. And the Nidus Canal being up as well is just a little bit too much of a deterrent here. So BISU going to have to back off. He's taken the base at the 6 o'clock though. So he does have a 4th base. We're equivalent on bases at the moment. And this is the moment actually where a move needs to be made by JAEDONG, and it looks like he's gonna stretch out, hold this area here, and try to take the 12 o'clock, which is a very nice move. I really like the kind of formulaic response here from JAEDONG. It really feels like he has all the moves planned out here. You know, he takes bases in a very regimented fashion. And now he's in a position where he's going to have a good percentage of the map. Dark Swarm is already out. Very well done. At 16 minutes having Dark Swarm for your lurker line, it's kind of crazy. It's going to be so hard for the Protoss army to break through. But you know what? BISU, he's got a lot here. He's trying to make it happen. Oh, do not throw a Dark Swarm down on this army. That's mostly Hydras. Oh my god, BISU is just shoving through. I didn't think it was going to be possible for him to break through this right now, but he's managed to do it. He's killing off all of these Hydras here on high ground. Man, that is crazy. BISU broke through Hydraless Dark, or Lurker Dark Swarm at 16 minutes. I really thought that JAEDONG was going to be able to hold off there. Maybe he needed to pull everything. Maybe he needed to bring all his lurkers together to hold that position, but it seemed like he had enough. It really did. We got our first plague here. Gonna start chaining plagues together, hitting all of these units, especially the zealots are gonna be the main target for that plague. Units coming down onto low ground. Looks like JAEDONG going to take this 5th base in the bottom right instead. That's still not a lot of lurkers, but we do have the Nidus Canal here. So the position can be reinforced quite quickly. High ground has been taken by BISU in the top left. This is going to be a problem, a serious, serious problem. Had JAEDONG been able to hold here, he could have easily sent units up to kind of deny this, but as it stands, he's not going to be able to stop this, I don't think. With the DT there and reinforcements coming up, he will not be able to stop this. Really nice plague there on a lot of these zealots. The probes are going to get massacred. 11 kill lurker here. Very nice job by JAEDONG picking those off. BISU not responding in time to pull the probes back. He's lost a good chunk of his probes, and now he doesn't really have much to transfer to the top left. He's gonna have to transfer a bunch of these, but that's gonna leave it a little bit undersaturated there at the center left, and maybe BISU can, or maybe JAEDONG can use that momentum to push forward here. I'm gonna be dropping a Dark Swarm for now. Pushing everything back. He's just about to get Metasynaptic Node. Unfortunately, his Defiler did die, though. Scourge coming forward, but we don't have the Overlord in position just yet to spot. A lot of units kind of running in willy-nilly and getting lost here for JAEDONG, but he's macroing hard back at home and looking for those two observers. Can he get it? He does get both observers here. And so the army going to be pushed up into the high ground, onto the high ground here. All the Templars do need to escape. I'm going to make a run for it with all of these Templar. Oh, do we have drop? No, these are just being sent over here. Being picked off right now. Having some good saturation down here at the bottom right, but nothing actually defending this base, hilariously. Really, JAEDONG just kind of leaving that wide open right now. While he tries to push up here in the top left, he knows he can't allow this base to stand. Dropship heading down towards the bottom right. Is he going to be throwing down some storms down there? Oh no, he's not paying attention to it right now. Everything is focused on this area right now. So much of BISU's army has been lost, so he's really struggling right now to hold on to this base, and it looks like JAEDONG might be able to get up here. The Artosis pylon on the high ground. Oh, 5 cannons unpowered. Really nicely done here. JAEDONG breaks this base. Nice storm there, doing a lot of damage. Just not going to matter, though, I don't think. There's enough Hydra here to break through. Storms coming down towards the bottom right. Big storm should be killing pretty much all the drones here, and he even picks up both the Templar as well. Going for yet another storm while there's an engagement here in the middle of the map. More big storms landing on a ton of these drones. JAEDONG focused right now on clearing out those drops. Not going to get all the probes here too quickly, but now he's got his lurkers burrowed, and he should be able to kill all of those. He's actually ahead in workers despite the massive drops that have gone down so far. Another storm? Does he have it? He does not have the energy, unfortunately, for BISU. Had he that energy, he would have killed so many drones at this position. Bringing forward the Hydras should be able to deal with this Archon, no problem. The 12 o'clock will go down, but I think that JAEDONG's going to be absolutely fine with that. Losing that base is not a problem. He just needs to hold this high ground. Spreading out lurkers up here. Putting the lurkers down and ready with the Dark Swarm as well. If BISU tries to break this, another big storm down here. Oh, 9 kills. 9 kills and 2 kills there. Looks like quite a few of the drones did manage to survive. Another storm going down and another. But both of the Templar do fall. Can he actually break up this high ground right now? Dropping those storms. There's no Nidus up here right now, so he knows he just needs to kill these lurkers, and then the Archon and the Zealot should be able to take the rest. Nice storm there, getting that lurker and the Defiler, plus the Hydras as well. Oh, he gets the Observer. No. Big loss there for BISU. He can come up here still and fight this if he's got another storm. No more storm is available, and JAEDONG will hold the high ground for a little bit longer. He's going to try and break through over here. We've got 2 Reavers, unfortunately. JAEDONG, can he actually break through this? This is still a really tough thing to break through. 2 Reavers here. Absolutely mincing these Hydras and Lings. He loses 1 Reaver, but that was so much supply thrown away for JAEDONG for pretty much no benefit. Trying to stop this probe. The probe just... Gosu walking past all the lurker spines. Gonna throw a Nexus up here in the top left, I think, again. And BISU moving through the middle of the map. He's still got a fairly decent army, guys. I really don't know who's gonna win this game. I feel like BISU has the lead, or not BISU, sorry, JAEDONG has the lead right now. I really feel like he does. And as long as he keeps picking off observers like that, there's no way that BISU can win this. However, the army is still relatively strong. We're still on 2 bases. Great plague there on the middle of these lurkers. I think that are on the middle of these zealots. I think that might be the clincher here, actually. Getting that much damage from a single Dark Swarm is pretty insane. Or a single plague is pretty insane. The army here is just not big enough, and we're going to lose this Archon for free as well. The Crackling's going to work. Let's take a look at the upgrades. 2, 2, and 3 attack on these Hydras. 3, 2, 3. Oh, wait. 2 plasma shields here for BISU right now is kind of insane. High Templar. Having a bit of a truce here with these Lings. They end up throwing out a storm. No. Another plague goes down, but actually, maybe BISU can break through here yet. The Lings not actually helping to defend the lurkers right here, and the DT doing some work as well, getting in here. This is the DT maybe from the beginning of the game? Is it really? Could it be? Now with 5 kills, he will fall to the storm. A little bit of friendly fire there, but he's cleaning out this base. Unreal. Is BISU actually going to take this game? It's kind of looking like it now. Scourge coming in. They're not able to connect with all of these observers, and actually JAEDONG should have tried to just hold this high ground because he's about to lose everything. BISU getting up here with the Archons and the Zealots getting in and killing this base. Are you kidding me right now? This is insanity. Protoss OP, my guys. What the hell is Protoss? Finally, we do have enough Hydras, it looks like, to clear this out. Lurkers coming down as well. He's gonna be able to finish off all of the Archons. Maybe that's it. Another drone heading up to the north. Maybe with that final army being cleared, on all the Archons going down, maybe that's enough for JAEDONG to take this game, because we are just about out of money here. 164 minerals there, 400 minerals here. Oh, I don't want to see him try to break this right now. Oh, are you kidding me? Please don't do it. Don't do it. It's going to be so hard. He's going to go after the Reaver. Reaver is being attacked, but the storm here is insane. So much damage from that storm. Lurkers running up under Dark Swarm. I just wanted to see JAEDONG hold that position and get his mining rolling once again, but instead he's trying to break this high ground, and he's got no mining on this low ground. He's still trying to break it down here. There's almost no money left at this base, and he's still trying to run down here. It makes absolutely no sense to me at this moment. I am flabbergasted at this man. What is he doing? Trying to break this base. I mean, he has nothing now. He's got nothing here, and there's gonna be a storm. Storms on everything. GG, JAEDONG taps out. BISU takes that game. Wow. What an intense game. I actually thought that BISU was gonna win right when he killed this base, but I felt like JAEDONG had a real chance if he just held on. Got another hatchery up here, you know, made sure that he didn't take any more storm damage. He still had the upper left. I think he still had some lurker over here. He was being denied from taking 12, but he could have had 2 bases up once again. I guess he was just on 1 base for too long. He was stuck on just this base, whereas the Protoss was mining off of 2. He decided to go all in, basically, and try to break this position, but it doesn't end up working out. Man, JAEDONG, what a crazy, crazy game there. But we're going to jump into game number 2. Guys, hold on. Buckle your seatbelts. We're jumping right in. Okay, getting into our next game here. JAEDONG in the top right. His opponent, BISU, over in the top left. You're on Tempest this time. A newer style map. A high ground natural, low ground main. Can bring us some really cool games, especially in this particular matchup. I feel like this matchup on this map really favors players like Action, players like Hero, who will take another main base, take another natural, and sunken up and get really, really defensive, and then go into a massive late game. I feel like those players have that, like, a little bit of an extra benefit from maps like this, but I don't know if JAEDONG is comfortable with that style. I think he might end up taking this base out here, or trying to take this base over here in the center right here as his third, as a more comfortable base, one that can be a little bit easier to hold, and well, maybe not easier to hold, but closer to your rallies from your natural, right? If you're rallying out here and you want to put on pressure, it's a little bit easier to do it from this base rather than from the base down here in the bottom right. And a Nexus first coming out of BISU here. He's got this mapped with this next probe coming out. Wow, this is a greedy Nexus first, guys. You can see he didn't send the probe after the pylon here. He sends a probe for the pylon and then goes back, mines 1 mineral, I think, and then comes back and drops the Nexus, and then sends the probe out after the Nexus with a second probe coming to drop the Forge. And he's going to drop a gateway here as well. He doesn't even have money. Oh my god, he doesn't have money for the cannon right now. He's going to get in and find out that, okay, he's going to be safe. I think he might have been able to tell with the hatchery timing, but jeez, that's greedy. If you go Nexus first, Forge, Gateway, then photon cannon? That's pretty wild to me. We went pylon too. So this guy really taking every possible advantage right now from this early Nexus. And, you know, it's going to be, I guess, okay here for JAEDONG. It's not a comfortable spot. You know that the Protoss is going to be way quicker getting out his tech here. The gateway's been finished already. It's building a Zealot. I thought he was going to drop an instant cybernetics core, if I'm being honest. I thought this was going to be, because the gas was pretty quick, I thought it was going to be instant cyber without the Zealot. And then we were going to go into a very, very fast Corsair here. But he's going to drop a Zealot. He's going to build a second Zealot. With the cybernetics core coming, I mean, it's not going to be the fastest Corsair, but it's still going to be pretty darn quick, and something for JAEDONG to seriously be concerned about. He doesn't want to lose too many overlords to this. A layer. About halfway done. We'll see how this lines up with the timings here. Second gas is finishing now for the Protoss. Stargate gonna begin, and the layer just gonna finish up in a moment. So I think we're gonna have Scourge out in time. Actually, I'm looking at this. I believe Scourge. I should know this, guys. I really should know this. This is a bit overdue for me. Like when the Spire starts, whether or not the Corsair and you know, are you gonna be able to get the Scourge out if the Spire starts now? Okay, he's not even going to start a Spire. Okay, I think he's kind of realized that it's not going to be in time. Which is something that I should really do. I should really learn these timings. Air weapon upgrade on the way. Zealot's going to get completely surrounded here. Pretty good control so far from BISU, but I don't see him winning this fight. Ooh, this Zealot at the back here does almost get away. 4 kills Zealot. Gonna back up towards this wall. 2 cannons. Means he can't really run by here. And Hydras are gonna start to pop out. Not really a Hydra's pressure build this time. Instead, just the Hydras for the defense of the Overlords here, more or less. Alright, just gonna come up. Try to push the Corsair back. Is he gonna cancel air weapons? That's a good question. Will we be canceling air weapons here now that we've seen that? No, it's just a Hydralisk play. Pure Hydra gonna be coming out for JAEDONG. +1 is already on the way here. +1. Almost finished for BISU. The Zealot's starting to move out. Where's that 4 kill Zealot? There he is. He survived the earlier Zergling attack. Gonna be sent back in for a second tour of duty here. +1, just about done. Speed as well. How many gateways do we have finished? Only just the 1, so we're not gonna have that many Zealots here, but we are gonna have a DT to fight alongside this. Trapping the probe back behind the mineral patches, making sure that he can micro these Corsairs appropriately. Looking for any damage he can find right now. And Zealots moving out on the map are going to get spotted by the Lings. A little bit of advance notice there for JAEDONG. So get prepared for this defense. He needs to actually pull these Hydras up to assist, because we're going to have the Zealots come in now. On the on the third base, excuse me. And the Corsairs are going to come in at the same time. Ooh, Hydras are being pulled away from the Overlords right now. And this could be the moment. No. Only a couple drones go down. And the Hydras will return to defend. Overlords here at the natural. in a good position. Gotta keep this Dark Templar out of the main. Has a couple of Overlords here as well. But again, this time, you know, exactly the same situation as last game, actually, where BISU not able to get any damage with these Corsairs. 0 damage here thus far. He's kept, you know, JAEDONG on his toes somewhat, holding him back right now, but no Overlords have fallen. Just a couple of drones, maybe. But really good defense of his Overlords thus far. Okay, this might be the crack in the defense now. He's going to lose 1 Overlord? No. Saving all the Overlords once again. Really good control here from JAEDONG. You can see he is sharp as a tack right now. Spire coming up as well. +1 is just about to finish. Got to be careful. This DT may end up finding quite a lot of damage here if we don't have an Overlord in position. Here he comes up towards the natural. Gonna lose the DT right away. Great play by JAEDONG. Bit of a mistake there by BISU. BISU swinging around though. He's gonna come over towards the third base. There's not enough Hydras over here. There's quite a few Corsairs as well. Maybe he can get one. He does get 1 Overlord, finally getting a kill and getting out as well with those Corsairs. More Overlords in production though. Not quite supply blocked at the moment. JAEDONG keeping active on the map, chasing around these Zealots and starting his +2 as well. 2 gateway, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 8 gate. We're gonna have a big pressure timing attack here from BISU. Will the Hydras of JAEDONG be enough? Is he gonna have Hydra Lurker in time? He has the Lurkers out. He has +1 armor coming, but how's this engagement going to go? Lurkers burrowing. I don't see an observer. Do you? Where are the observers right now? They are MIA. And the Lurkers are going to put on a lot of pressure here. They're going to force everything back. And Hydra's coming in from multiple angles. They're looking for those Templar, but BISU smartly pulling the Templar back to the bottom left here. I'm going to start to move around. There's the observer, but Hydra's coming from behind. He's going to get some big kills here. 1 kill, 2 kill. Bunch of Templar going down. Unfortunately, sacking a bunch of Hydra, but I think that's totally worth it. Only 2 Templar moving out with this army, and only this one has full energy. So we've got 3 total storms here. Base being taken at the center left. If anything finds out about that, if an Overlord goes down there, if some Ling goes down there, if a Ling goes down there, he can stop this base from happening. But for now, worried more about this push in the middle. Ling's coming up. JAEDONG really adding on those Lings nice and early as a part of his composition. I love to see it. Right as the Lurkers start to come out, that's the time to get into some Ling production. Overlords going down here in the middle, finally finding some damage with these Corsairs. Now, was that +1 really worth it? We've only got 3 Corsairs, and that's all we built. I feel like we could have just gone for... I know people hate it. A lot of people complain when whenever I make a suggestion to the pros, but I did say that it would be a good idea to cancel +1, and say what you will about me, but I feel like that just makes sense in my mind. Of course, I'm not saying that I'm a better player than BISU. I'm just saying that maybe something he may have overlooked. Of course, Starcraft is a game of incomplete information and split-second decision-making. With 300 APM, can be a little difficult to hit everything and to see everything. So, hope that doesn't rub anyone the wrong way. But I am still going to say what I think no matter what. JAEDONG moving up to the north here. He's going to catch this army, matching it, mirroring it, but he doesn't have the Lurkers with him. He's not going to have them in time. Lurkers are going to move back over, migrating up here towards the top side Burrowing just in time here. We've got some lurkers on this high ground. We've got a sunken colony as well, but lurkers are going to come up, reinforcing this position. We've got the Scourge at the ready. Scourge going to be gunned down here. Unfortunately, not able to pick off any of these observers. Just holding the middle. High ground and middle. He's making sure that there's no easy attack path here for BISU. He's going to start to shove up onto this high ground. Very important that BISU break up onto this area. This plateau up here is very hard to get through. That's a lot of units running into the meat grinder right now. But will it be enough to overwhelm BISU's position? I would love to see some reinforcements coming from another angle, maybe from behind here. But for now, just massing units up to help defend these lurkers. Now going to come around with a pincer attack here. Lurkers coming from that defensive position on that other high ground. Going to get into a good spot here on top of this High Templar. He's got one more Storm. Really needs to target that Templar. No, the Templar gets its Storm. And actually with the reinforcement of Zealots, he might be able to break this. He loses the Observer, so he will not be able to break this. What an incredible back and forth here between JAEDONG and BISU. The exchange was very, very even here. And a fourth base has gone down in the meantime over on the center right. So JAEDONG staying one base ahead. We're completely even at this point. And BISU going to look for damage with a group of Zealots moving around the side, but Sacrificial Overlords down here, very important because they're going to spot this Zealot counterattack. And maybe he'll be in time to prevent that from dealing any damage. Lurker here on the high ground, pushing the Zealots down into the bottom right. And the base was just a twinkle in the eye of JAEDONG here. Is planning to take that, but looks like he still doesn't have the mineral resources required. So that's going to be on delay for a little bit longer. Looks like every Zealot going to be cleaned up here. Let's take a look at the upgrades. +1 and 2 armor. And we're 2-1 here for the Hydras, 1-1 for the Lynx. So I really love to see the triple upgrade rolling for JAEDONG. He's going to be getting into that big macro game. Last time it did not work out for him, you know, on Retro. He wasn't able to take a win there, despite having such a massive army and so much economy rolling. BISU was able to match him and continuously take good fights, but on this map there are so many more bases to take. There's so many more resource locations to secure, and it's so much more difficult to maneuver this Protoss army around to defend another quadrant of the map. So I don't know if we're going to be able to see JAEDONG take BISU take this bottom left. JAEDONG going to be defending that right now, preventing that from going down. Picking off an observer, looking for some High Templar he can get as well right now. And there is that 16-minute Defiler right on time here for JAEDONG. Gonna start consuming those Lings and throwing down Dark Swarms here very, very soon. I hope he's not gonna try and push into a position that's not really breakable. This is kind of breakable. This is very breakable. But utilizing the Dark Storm as a form of defense is a lot stronger. And I just don't want to see him feed into BISU too much like we saw in that last game. Here we go. Gonna try and break the high ground once again. There's the consume. Dark Storm gonna come up just in the nick of time here. There it is. But a lot of storms going down on the front line of those lurkers, and storms going down on the Hydras as well. The Zealots are using the Dark Swarm to their own advantage. A lot of reinforcements coming up, though. There's not too much Protoss remaining at the moment. The storms are amazing on this ramp, but he's going to have to fall back here, cede this high ground back to JAEDONG. who may end up pushing onto this high ground here. He's got lurkers up here already. Getting himself into a good position. Can he consume some more and keep this push going? Archon's getting taken down. Beautiful first plague. That being done already is huge. We're about to finish up some crucial upgrades as well. And GG, BISU taps out. JAEDONG with the quick defiler play. Able to finish off BISU here before he can really get himself rolling. It looked like he was going to try and take more bases in the bottom left, but JAEDONG shutting him down. So a quick 1-1. And guys, unfortunately, that's all the games that we have from these two. We're going to be looking out, keeping a keen eye for any more BISU JAEDONG replays. But for now, that is it. That is your daily dose of Broodwar, and I'll see you tomorrow.